YouTubers, I am so excited to talk to you guys today because I just want to open up and I want to be very transparent and I want to be very real with you guys. I think a lot of times what people see as a coach, they look at my business and they assume that everything is easy peasy, right? They assume that I just know how to write with ease because I have books and because I've helped women write books, or they assume that everything comes off easy or I'm not frustrated or I don't run into any obstacles. But today I just want to open up and I want to be very transparent with you. I want to share that everything is not always as it appears. So I was working on my project of creating a planner for my authors. I wanted them to have a planner and a system in place that they could use to teach them how to organize their day to set themselves up for success in reaching their author goals. And so I decided to take like my day-to-day tasks, kind of break them down, make them into a planner that they could write in to help them be successful ultimately. And so while I enjoyed doing this, the project was extremely overwhelming. And I don't mean overwhelming like, oh, you're a little frustrated here or a little frustrated there. I mean, when I take all of my projects and I put them together, this one probably felt like my most challenging project. There was formatting issues, there was printing issues, there were just tons of issues that kept coming up. And I think at this point I had 6 books, and so everyone was assuming like, girl, you got this publishing process down. Like, you know where to go to print. You know how to do copyright. You know how to do ISBNs. You know how to do barcodes. You have this down. But ultimately, I did not. As confident as I feel in writing a 100-page book and creating fancy journals and writing ebooks for my clients, I felt so I felt like it didn't fit for me. I felt like no matter how I tried, even though the idea was great and the concept behind it was great and I wanted to support my authors, ultimately I didn't feel like this was going to work for me. I didn't feel like I could be successful with this. And just like you, when you're working on your books and you're working on your ideas and you're working on your goals and things come up, you start to feed yourself these negative thoughts. Oh, I can't do it. I don't have enough time. This isn't made for me. I remember thinking with my first book, like, oh, that was something unique that was for so and so or for that special person. Or that only works for that special person because they have the skill set or it's meant for them. But in reality, if something can happen for one person, that's a reminder and that's proof that it can also happen for you. The same things that that person wants, if you want it bad enough, you can have it. I've seen tons of planners that I think are great, but when I went to write this planner, immediately what came to me was, oh no, that person, they have a way better planner. Or that person, they're really good at, being creative, but creativity doesn't work for me. And I fed myself with all of these negative thoughts and all of these reasons of why this idea couldn't work for me. And that was the furthest thing from the truth. I didn't have to give up on my idea. All I had to do was believe in my idea. I shared a quote on Facebook recently, and it said that successful people focus on their opportunities for success, right? People that are willing to accept failure focus it on all their barriers and all their obstacles. And I was that person. 3 years ago, I had a desire to write a book, and I believed that I could write a book, but I believed it for that long. I believed that that book could come, be successful for that long. And then every time I sat down to write this book, all those negative thoughts started cycling back through my mind. Oh, you can't do this. There's not enough time. You don't have enough money. Nobody's going to read it. You'll never finish it by this deadline. And because I didn't have the right frame of mind, I believed everything I was telling myself. I took all those ideas in and I internalized them and I accepted those ideas as my reality when in turn they weren't my reality, right? My reality is what I choose to make my reality. And so when I changed my mindset, and it sounds so cliche, when I changed my mindset, I changed my life. And I mean that fully. I can't stress that enough. When I started to say, you know what? If I want to write this book, I can write this book. If I believe that I like this concept or this topic in this book, there's other people in the world that will like this concept or this topic. And I don't have to be so quick to just throw in the towel or just give up on this book. I can write this book and be successful because I believe I can. A lot of times we're waiting for external sources to be our cheerleaders. We're waiting on our mom or on our spouse or on our kids or on our coworkers or on our competitors to tell us that we're doing something right. And I'm just going to be really frank with you. People are not going to always cheer you on. You have to be willing to cheer yourself on, right? You have to be willing to clap for yourself even when no one else is clapping, because you never know who's watching and you never know who you're blessing with your story. Had I continued to believe that 3 years ago, had I continued to believe those thoughts that I could never publish a book, I still wouldn't have a single book published. And I will be honest, my book changed my life. And not only did it change my life, it changed so many people's lives. It let other women around the world know that they were capable of accomplishing their goals and their dreams. And that's the same thing it can do for you. You have no idea who is waiting to hear your story. You have no idea who is waiting to hear what you have to share. But you have to get to a point where you are ready to overcome yourself, overcome those negative thoughts, overcome those obstacles and those barriers that you see as final, and choose to replace those with successful things. What are all the potentials for success you could have? Could you have potential to travel the world? Could you have potential to have extra income? Could you have potential to change someone's life? What can you focus on over here that will make all of this other stuff over here, all those negative thoughts over here, seem absolutely irrelevant? And so my challenge to you today is to identify all the potentials that you have for success with your journey, with your book writing journey. And don't be scared to share it. Just like I'm on here today sharing that my journey wasn't perfect. Yes, my planner is published and it's great and I get wonderful feedback on it. But I was tempted to give up at one point. But I thank God every single day that I didn't, because that planner is changing lives. That planner is helping authors every single day structure their day to be successful. But had I given up, then maybe those authors wouldn't know what they were doing. And so I want to challenge you not to give up. And I want to challenge you instead to focus on all the potential that you have to reach the success that you desire. So that is what I have for you guys today. Feel free to comment below if you want to share it. I would love to know what you know that your book can do for you. And until next time, guys, continue with clarity. Bye.